everyone. So it's a real pleasure to be with you this afternoon. And what I wanted to do today is spend a little bit of time to give you a picture of how MasterCard sees the future of payments this afternoon. I think there's a lot of exciting things that are happening. We live in a world that's changing a lot. A world where technology is evolving rapidly. A world where consumers have heightened expectations about what technology can really do for them. Consumers expect personalized experiences that can make their life basically easier. Of course, we have more and more people connected. So all this is changing very rapidly. And we have also a lot of industries that are basically reinventing themselves. So what we have to do at MasterCard is to think about a world in the future without plastic. And this is exactly what we are doing. We're looking at how we can constantly reinvent ourselves in delivering products, payment solutions, that will basically make consumers' life much easier going forward. If we don't do that, we don't have a bright future. So we don't have a choice. So we're doing a lot of exciting things, and that's what I wanted to spend a little bit of time with you today. As I said, technology is evolving very, very fast. So what we have to do at MasterCard is continue to experiment with these new technologies on a constant basis. Just looking at, for example, at some of these things that you can see here. For example, in the Internet of Things. So there's a prediction that by 2020, 3 years away from now, there should be somewhere between 34 billion to 50 billion connected devices. In our view at MasterCard, we believe that every one of these connected devices has the potential of becoming a shopping device. So how do we make that happen? I'll talk a little bit more about that in a minute. Biometrics is also something where we're spending a lot of time on. We think that biometrics can really add to the user experience. In fact, this is already becoming a reality. It's a reality today when you look at high-end smartphones, of course, the way you authenticate themselves. So we want to leverage on these new authentication techniques. It's not only about fingerprints, it's also about other things as well. So we have launched, for example, some pilots in the Netherlands that are now going to scale across Europe about using a selfie to authenticate yourself, looking at the measurements of the face, etc. So it's not about storing a picture. It's not at all about that. We cannot do that. It's about taking measurements of the face and authenticating the user that way. We're also doing work around using EKG or the heartbeat to authenticate the consumer. So all these new technologies really have an opportunity to make the payment process much simpler and also more secure. Another thing maybe is artificial intelligence and deep learning. So actually we're already doing that today. We have a lot of data on our network. And what we can do is predict fraud, for example, where it's probably going to happen. And so we use that already. And we want to continue to use that to make, again, the payment more secure and simpler for the consumer going forward. Blockchain, there's a lot of talk about blockchain. We think this is an interesting area that is developing, one that we're taking a look at the moment. It's not really, really mature at this point, but certainly this is an area that we have to look at. Chatbots is another thing. So if you don't know what chatbot is about, it's about basically using robotics and automated chats, for example. So we've just announced, in fact, that we're now experimenting ways where you can make a purchase using a chatbot. So booking an airline ticket, for example. So you're basically interacting with a robot in a chat and able to book an airline ticket and simply pay with a digital wallet interconnected to that chatbot. So this is actually ongoing right now. And the reason why we're doing that is that we realize that consumers spend typically most of their time on their smartphone with 4, maybe 5 applications. And so they spend a lot of time with communication applications such as Messenger or WhatsApp or whatnot. And so the idea is to bring the commerce piece within the communication application, so that when you're within this communication application, you can simply ask for service and pay for that service without leaving the chatbot, basically. So there's a lot of things. Obviously, at MasterCard, our role in experimenting with all these new things is, again, trying to make the life of the consumer better, easier, with these, and more secure, looking at the payment side, of course. Okay, so, but I think this digital revolution that's underway is really a huge opportunity to evolve the payments business, basically. At MasterCard, we think that we've estimated by 2020, 38% of all of our payments in Europe will be actually digital payments. So what do I mean by digital payments? One thing is, I'm sure you've heard about this, is mobile NFC technology. In your mobile device, you have a contactless interface, and you can simply tap your mobile device on the terminal. This is becoming widespread now all around the world. So this is going to occupy a big space of those new types of digital payments. And then, of course, the in-app is also another area of fast development where the consumer basically will be within a merchant app and simply have a very seamless experience to check out within that application using a digital wallet that I'll talk about in a minute. So we see that overall, at global scale, you can see the opportunity represents $6 to 7 trillion US dollars, excluding China. So this is absolutely enormous in 3 years from now. And what's also being fueled, how this is also being fueled is by the growth of these connected devices. And as I said, in our view at MasterCard, we think that every one of these connected devices, or almost all of them, could become a commerce device. So we are already experimenting and bringing to the market many new ways of paying, exciting ways of paying, connecting appliances. So we're working with Samsung, for example, where you're able to pay your groceries from your fridge, actually. Connecting cars. So we have also announced work with General Motors in the US, where we're looking to embed basically a commerce platform within the connected car so that the consumer basically will have an experience in driving where maybe they will be getting offers through that system, and through the offer they will be able to drive into a specific business and redeem the offer, for example, and make that payment with a wallet sitting in the cloud, but certainly paying from the car in a way. So all these are very exciting things, and again, it represents really a huge opportunity, I think, for the financial payments industry. So if you think about this transition to digital, it's actually quite complex. And it's affecting, of course, all industries. There's been massive change, as we've seen with the Ubers, Airbnbs, etc. And this is also coming to payments. So for us at MasterCard, I think, in order to win in digital, we have to reinvent our business. We have to change the mentality. We have to look at new things, and it shouldn't be a silo within our organization. So that's really how we view, the digital space. And we have to actually look at many different areas of how to move our business to digital. So the first one that we're spending a lot of time focusing on is how to enhance the payment experience by introducing new ways to pay. Another thing is digitizing new forms of payments, and I touched on that with the Internet of Things, turning connected devices into payment devices. Security for us is absolutely essential as well. So whilst the consumer is looking for an easier way to pay, they also want to be reassured that their credentials cannot be hacked, that the payment transaction remains secure as it is today. Partnering for scale. So we're also partnering with many companies that are looking at new ways of paying and integrating this within our own sets of solutions. So we are reinventing basically what we're doing with payments as we speak, and there's a lot of new things coming. So let me just touch on some of those things that I just talked about. So the first one is enhancing the payment experience. So what do I mean by that? So enhancing the payment experience is through a new service, which is called MasterPass, which we're currently rolling out across the world, certainly already live in 33 markets around the world today. So MasterPass, if you want, is the world's first converged digital payment wallets. So a consumer with a MasterPass wallet is able to pay NFC, so contactless in the store, is able to buy goods online without having to enter the card details, or they can pay within the merchant application. All that through a single MasterPass wallet. MasterPass is typically distributed through the financial institutions. And why we think we can scale rapidly is because of that model, because the banks will distribute MasterPass. And we can see that picking up now in a number of new markets like Sweden and Italy, for example, where the majority of the banks are bringing the service to the market. The idea is that because it's distributed by the bank has the data of the consumer. And basically, that means that from a consumer point of view, I don't have to do a lot of fancy things to register for Masterpass wallet. I can simply, through my mobile payment application, accept the terms and conditions. My card is pre-populated into my wallet, and I can start using it. And that's really what we think that we can scale. As I said, it's live in 33 countries, and it's expanding rapidly. But Masterpass is not only a service available for mobile phones or tablets, but again, we're looking to expand it into other areas, as I just mentioned. But just to explain a little bit how it works, I'll just show you a small video.
Your day gets rolling early, and so do you. A list of to-dos and get-it-dones that you handle in stride at your pace. A Masterpass is there every step of the way. It's there when you're in a hurry to grab, go, and get back home. And it's on call when you are, ready to give you a boost so you can get to where you need it most. Masterpass moves with you. Whether life follows your lead or sends you on a detour. Because sometimes it's nice to get a pass. So, savor the moment and bon appetit. With Masterpass, you're ready. Ready to pay the way you want, when you want, wherever you go. And your information is secure, all in one place, right where it should be. So your day and night stay right on track. With Masterpass, you got this.
Okay, so you get a sense of what this product is about today. Where we're going to take it next, as I said, is into appliances such as fridges. We have another use case which is quite interesting, is pay at the table. It's available actually live in the UK in restaurant chains like Wagamama, Carluccio's, or Zizzi's Italian restaurants. And basically, it is a very useful solution because basically when you're finished eating, you don't have to wait on average 11 minutes to get your check and leave the restaurant. You can simply pay at the table using Masterpass and leave the restaurant. It's a great business for the restaurant as well because they get a new table clear and people can just move on, leave the restaurant when they've paid, and new people can just sit at the table. So it's another example, and more. So. The next thing I just want to quickly touch on before closing is about providing more security and digitizing credentials for the consumer in more endpoints. So we have created standards around tokenization. So that means tokenization is what does it mean? It means we're taking your card number that you have and we're creating an alternate PAN number that we're actually going to store in different details. If that device, my phone, gets stolen, or another tablet, for example, whatever, we can simply lock the usage to that particular device without affecting the plastic card or without affecting the other devices. In fact, Apple Pay uses this, Samsung Pay, Android Pay, these new payment solutions are basically powered by this MDES solution that MasterCard is digitizing. And Internet of Things as well. And in terms of Internet of Things, I'll show you the last video that really explains the concept.
Before I'm moving, I'm going. Connected. Ready for whatever life brings. Because I know time matters. And my time is precious. I move through my day as simply as I can. No delays, no missed trains. How I move changes. Where? and when. But it never slows down. MasterCard. Commerce for every device.
All right, so just you've seen some of the use cases that are being worked on and brought to the markets very shortly. The ring is quite interesting. It has a chip actually in it, where the credential, the token is actually loaded into the ring, and you transform your ring into a payment device. So it's just an example. Connecting cars as well is something that is going to happen very, very soon. But anyways, I just want to leave you with that. My time is up. I hope you found it interesting. And do we have time for questions? At least one?
Of course.
We do.
Let's have one. We'll get the gentleman there first.
Thank you for a nice presentation. What about price for your ticket to the new model for the DigiPass?
What's the price? What's the price? What
Price
for the wallet, the MasterPass wallet.
Yes, price.
We don't,
for your
we don't
new,
charge
new
anything
model.
for our wallet, basically. And again, the wallet is being distributed by actually in Belgium here, you can sign up for MasterPass free of charge.
Okay, thanks.
You can go on MasterPass, sign up for it. It's not distributed by a bank at this point in Belgium. It's distributed directly by us. But of course, in the future, we hope that the banks will also be taking it. But it's free.
Great. Would you like to take the question? You make short. So.
Let's keep mine short. With regards to security, so if I'm just like that girl was wearing the watch on the wrist, and then she could tap into the Oyster card and go in the underground and stuff. Just overall with regards to security, because when I was in the UK a few weeks ago, there was loads of data breaches of a lot of companies. So not so much about the device, but your security. So how secure, and what's been done to prevent what's happened to other companies where their data breaches have been broken?
Good.
Yeah, sure. I mean, everything that we do actually is not only about enhancing the payment experience, but it's also about security. So MasterCard has very, very strict requirements when it comes to these digital wallet solutions, for example, looking at not only making sure that the payment account is authentic, but also authenticating the user. And then, as I said as well, when transactions are being authorized, there are fraud detection techniques as well. But so for us, security is paramount. Looking at, for example, the examples that I mentioned, about these big digital wallets like Apple Pay or Samsung Pay, Android Pay, and MasterPass also being a tokenized wallet. Again, like I said, we're creating a token. Think about all these multiple objects, like 50 billion or whatnot. Everyone could become a shopping device. So security for us is very important. And the way to make the security in that is to create a token and put that token into the device. So the smartwatch, for example, also is if you remove the watch or the ring, it has a sensor to know that it's really in contact with your skin, for example. So if you remove the watch, if you remove the ring, you have to re-authenticate, basically. So it sounds crazy, but that's what's happening today. So if an Apple Watch, for example, you remove it, you put it back after 1 minute, you have to re-authenticate yourself before you can make a payment. So enter your PIN code or your fingerprint on the smartphone that's coupled with the device. So security is absolutely essential for us in everything that we do. So,
Thank you.
Great. Thank you very much, Christophe.
thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.